We got Mr. Alex, who's an engineering unit manager from Latvia, running SolidWorks, our number 2 seed in that qualifier board, going up against Dom, number 10. He's a CSWE. He's a sign designer. He's an outdoors guy. So maybe we can learn a little bit more about each of these runners here. And Phil, I'm going to let you have the honors.
Sure, no problem. So it looks like we got Dom over there started using SolidWorks back in 2019. I'd be curious if he just went down the SolidWorks path or maybe something led him there. But outside of that is agricultural equipment manufacturing. That's great. So I think he's pretty much going to know a lot about machining like myself. Outside of that, we have Mr. Alex over there. He's been a SolidWorks since SW97.
Wow.
That is way back there.
Yo.
Still not as long as I've been alive, but we're getting close.
Wow.
But given that he said he's forgotten a few functions, I can only hope that those functions were changed into better functions.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, these guys have both been longtime friends of the channel, regular contributors on the chat in the channel. So I'm very excited to see both of them run. But as Aaron C said, I'm very sad to have to see one of them go. But at least we get to have a good show along the way. And let's get into it here with this first battle in the Elite 8, featuring Mr. Alex, our number 2 seed, against Dom, our number 10 seed. United States versus Latvia, SolidWorks versus SolidWorks. This CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? And
oh, that is a brutal one.
This is a really cool part. Aaron C, if you're out there watching, this one's for you, buddy. When I made this part, I was like, Aaron C is gonna love this part. So both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture, trying to come up with a plan, and jumping into their CAD system. Let's jump over and take a look and see how they approach this thing. It's called Soap Holder. It's made of 4mm wires, and this is a cool and tricky part. This is one of these parts that there are many ways that you could do this, and I'm very interested to see how our runners approach this. Aaron C says,
you're not wrong. I'm definitely interested nonetheless, because I've already got the play in my head inside the world of Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, I'm going to stay quiet till a little later, but I think SolidWorks might have a similar function that would make this relatively easy.
Well, we're going to find out. It looks like both of our runners are getting in here with probably the same game plan, you know, looking down on this thing from the top, creating that kind of arch shape. This is one of these parts that you see around the house. You see, you're looking around the house, you see a part in the house, and you're like, oh, that would make a cool part for the tournament. And so here it is. Now we get to actually see it in live and see what these guys come up with. This should be labeled as...
Does that mean you're going to drop a Bed Bath & Beyond link to where you could purchase one of these?
Yeah,
today?
affiliate link. JD52WTF says, this should be labeled as cruel and unusual. Why do you hate these people? Hey, man, it's not me. It's the wheel. I offload all responsibility to the wheel.
I'm really curious to see how they're going to actually do the ribbing as you move down this. And I can see one method that's already working pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, a good start from Dom on the right. You know, I think that's probably pretty obvious. If you have the path that something is going around, and you know what the shape is, you could certainly do it with looks like he did that with a sweep. And I think that makes a lot of sense to do it that way. It's certainly not the only way that you could create this model, but it's probably the most obvious way. But now is when it gets tricky, because now the question is, how do you make that other geometry? And, is one person going to come up with a different technique than the other? And is that going to make the difference in this one? I think that's what we're going to end up seeing here.
I think so completely. And again, it's just, I'm watching this and it is magical to see how somebody in SolidWorks and all the hotkeys, and I almost feel like I wish there was a way to display the hotkeys so I could keep up.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most common hotkeys we use is just the letter S on the keyboard. And that's when that little menu shows up next to their cursor. But there's certainly some other stuff that they're using here to kind of speed through this geometry. JP,
yeah, 100%. And that's honestly, it's funny because in the world of Fusion, you have the same exact hotkey with a customizable menu. So you can hit S, and a lot of people don't realize you can pin whatever you want in that menu to speed up your design process.
Yes, so powerful. Such a great way to be efficient in the software. And so now we see that it looks like Dom on the right is running into this challenge where he's trying to figure out what's the best way. Like, how do you get that sketch that he's looking at to be hooked to the original sketch that he created. And I'm sure you probably have some ideas on how to do it. I have some ideas on how to do it. The chat probably has some ideas on how to do it, but everybody's just going to wait and see what these guys come up with.
I think you're right completely. I might have to do a little Googling to see what the constraint system inside of SolidWorks is, but this is a cool thing to see where a lot of this, it really doesn't matter. And with my customers that come from Inventor to Fusion or Fusion back to Inventor, or even guys transferring in and out of SolidWorks, they realize that they're all very much similar when you get down to the simpler tools, right? Oh, he's changing things up here. I kind of like this method.
Mm-hmm. Man,
that was a nice one. I like that for sure. I got to move some things around on my screen, but definitely the way that Alex actually just window dragged, and it looks like he equaled all of those circles together.
Yep. That was clutch. I think that might have been Dom.
Oh, is that Dom?
Yep.
Oh, that's my fault. Who's going to be the first one to make the rib? Because I think that's what we're looking at to figure out.
Yeah.
Once the first one's done, all the others are easy, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be, there's going to be like there's going to be ways to kind of take this, the obvious path, but then there's also going to be ways to maybe like come up with some trickery. And that's what I'm really interested in seeing, is what they come up with as far as the trickery goes.
Oh, 100%. As John said in the chat, it's crazy to think how fast these guys are pivoting when something fails, right?
Yes.
I mean, I love training people, and I tell them your goal is to fail as fast as possible so that you can succeed even faster.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wow, this is just like back and forth. I'm really glad this part came up. I was really excited, hoping this one would show up today, so...
I definitely have a creative, so I guess without seeing the drawing here, I'm assuming the tubes don't sit inside, right? All that actual grill material, it's all teed off the main D-ring, right?
Exactly, yeah, one merged body, we would say. So they're not hollow, they're not tubes, and they're not, you don't have to like cope them in or anything, you just merge them in, so.
Oh, no problem.
Yep, so just one big merged body.
One solid body or component in my world at the end of the day. But
yep, exactly. Now you could, like, if you figured out like, oh, this would actually be easier if I did, if I went a different route, if I made it an assembly, for example, I could actually do it easy. Like, then you could do that. I'm not saying they're going to do that with this part. I don't think this part would really benefit from that, but it is an option for any of these designs. But, sometimes that presents its own pitfalls. You could end up with extra material unexpectedly because you did it as an assembly, or, you could have incorrect material properties for one of the parts. Like, there's all kinds of pitfalls that come when you try to do things as assemblies.
Oh, 100%. I think that plays into a factor of the mass, does it not? At the end of the day, is having the right material on the model?
Absolutely. Yep, having the right material. Which does bring up a good question. We get a lot of questions from Fusion 360 users in the Too Tall Toby community, and one of those questions is, whoa, hold on a second. What did Dom just do there? That was unexpected. It looks
as if he's almost trying to extrude on a path or something.
Well, a very interesting result there from him. This is cool to see.
I do have to say, from a model standpoint, that was pretty neat. It was almost like he took tubing and followed a lofted path up his part.
Yeah. I guess maybe he was trying to sweep using all of those circles, and because they were getting further and further away from the source, it kind of like extrapolated a larger radius for those other ones. So just like what you were saying and what John said in the chat, it's like, okay, so he tried that, it didn't work, so now what's he going to pivot to?
Correct.
Wow. Oh yeah, Connor SCC.
This is almost one of those ones you got to roll into the sudden death part, it seems like.
We'll see. We're gonna let him cook a little bit. Connor SCC in the chat says, "Love from AU. 2 SolidWorks users is a rare sight to see nowadays. There is quite a bit of variety here in these tournaments, and it's great. It used to be really heavily loaded with SolidWorks users, and now it's like almost every match is 2 different CAD systems. Last week we had 4 different CAD systems in the matches, so it's so cool to see all this variety."
Well, this leads me to think, though, is in the world of SolidWorks, though, you do have the ability to extrude to a face, correct?
Yep, extrude up to a face. Absolutely.
Whether it be round, flat, or a curved plane?
Yep. Any geometry, just run right up to it.
All I got to say is, thankfully, this part doesn't have the old slot tool in it, right?
Yeah, no opportunity to use a slot tool, unfortunately. You know, we probably, you know, if Ricardo was in this match, he probably could have found a spot to use it, though.
I am curious to know a little bit more about what it is that Dom is using, because it looks like he's creating a path. Yeah, so it looks almost as if he started out with the concept of a pattern or being able to scale something up, and then he's had to pivot back to more of a rudimentary workflow.
Yep, exactly. One thing that I think you'll notice if you watch closely with Dom, this is something that SolidWorks has that's kind of special, although, you know, it's actually, you know what, I take it back. It looks like he's using, so what he's doing is he's creating that 2D sketch for that line, and then he's sweeping that circle along that 2D sketch for the line. No traditional sweep function, but there's something I'll mention at the end of this match. I don't want to mention it right now because I don't want to give away too much, but I think I saw him use
this
something
leads
earlier.
me to believe, does anybody on the actual chat side of things, have you actually finished this part at this point? Don't put the answer, of course, but
yes.
Have you even successfully modeled it on your end?
So usually what they do in the chat when they finish it themselves is they just say, got it. So I noticed that Rambros is saying, God, he's our Fusion 360 user for next week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rambros, I would love to know once we get the final of this and the answer, if you did it the way I'm thinking I would have done it.
So one question I wanted to ask you, I started asking it before, was if the I'm sorry. Every time I try to ask you this question, I get distracted. This is cool. I see that Mr. Alex is trying to do this with a sketch pattern over on the left. So that's a pretty clever way to do it too. You can maybe drop in a series of points and then have it pattern about those points. But once again, it's like this model just keeps stopping them in their tracks, keeps forcing them around. It looks like Dom finally figured out a groove to get into and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to brute force through this thing. I'm not going to get tricky or anything. I'm just going to do it. Sometimes that's what you got to do too, right? And then once you get into that groove, you start finding ways to make shortcuts during that groove as well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure at some point Dom probably sat back and thought to himself, hopefully Alex gets this one right sooner than later, so I don't have to keep going.
Just praying for an end. Well, it's really cool to see how these guys kind of thought through this model. Really cool to see how they were pivoting in this model. It looks like Dom is gonna be probably coming in with an answer here, so let's see what he comes up with. Matthew Van Loo in the chat says, "What's up, Phil? Dom coming in with an answer. 129 grams," and that is correct. And well done to Dom. Well done to Mr. Alex. What do you think, Phil? How would you have done that in Fusion? What would have been your tricky shortcut?
Well, so Rambros might be able to confirm this, but I think I would have actually did the same with the D pattern for centerline on the bottom, but I would have extruded a body upwards and made a solid and then used planes to slice my ribs, right? So I would have actually created a solid body of this finished centerline profile. Then once I split it all up, I actually could use Fusion as a pipe tool that would allow me to define all of these runners. And I say pipe, but it would have been solid. And what that would have did is give me all those ribs, and then at the end, take all my bodies and join them together.
Yeah, you know, I tried something like that too. I tried creating this thing with like essentially with thin walled rectangles or squares, thinking that I could just do 4 fillets at 2 millimeters around the, you know, just fill it all off afterwards, do it all as squares and then just fill it all off afterwards. But what I ran into was that the corner fillets that are supposed to be 6 millimeters inside radius ended up becoming elliptical because of how it was like curving on the curve. And so I was like, it's not going to work either. Like, I tried a lot of different ways to do this too. I did come up with a really, really cool solution in SolidWorks. I'll show you guys that in a video in the future, but I want to make sure that we give these guys time to shine here too. But I like your approach, really like your approach, Phil, saying you could use that pipe tool in Fusion. I definitely want to learn a little